Welcome to Dollars and Cents with your host, Jeff Davis and Chris Coleman from Falcon Financial Management.
Good morning, Gainesville, Ocala. You're listening to Dollars and Cents with your hosts, Jeff Davis and Chris Coleman. Jeff Davis, certified financial planner, president of Falcon Financial Management, creator of the integrated wealth management process, and a man recognized by Barron Magazine as one of the top 500 independent advisors in the country. Also recently elected into the University of Florida Athletic Hall of Fame, super wrestler that he is. My name is Chris Coleman. I'm an investor advisor representative and managing partner at Falcon Financial Management, and someone who's blessed to be here with you this morning. Jeff, as always, it's a pleasure.
Oh, I thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be your guest here today.
Hey, you're the man. I'm just hanging on.
I see.
I'm along for the ride.
Well, it's been an interesting week for us all week, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yes, lots of folks coming in and out the doors at Falcons with a variety of challenges and great things as always. I always wonder, are we financial advisors or psychologists?
That's an interesting question. There was a study done by the Institute of Certified Financial Planners. Gosh, it's been a few years, and they were talking about what is the best undergraduate degree that you can get to be a financial advisor.
Drum roll, please.
Psychology.
Really? That doesn't surprise me, actually. I can totally see that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because we're advisors. You know, if this was just purely sales, and all I was doing is selling a product, I'm going to sell a mutual fund, I'm going to sell a variable annuity, I'm going to sell a stock, then that's a whole different process than the consultative method that is what a certified financial planner really does. Now, first of all, a certified financial planner, it doesn't segment our industry into fee-based financial planning advisors, transaction, fee-only advisors. CFP is all of those different methods of providing financial advice. Some people who are CFPs are working for what we call wirehouses. Those would be your Morgan Stanley Smith Barneys, your Wachovia, and then, of course, Mother Merrill Lynch.
Transaction-based.
They're transaction-based. Now, they've become more fee-based. But, you know, Falcon Financial Management started in 1994, and we were very, very early in the fee-based business. When I first started doing this kind of work, I became a CFP in 1989. So in the early 1990s, when I started helping people with their investments, they asked me, you know, you're going to be watching this and telling us when we need to do this change and this change. And And then I'm trying to figure out how to do it. You know, I'm the dog that caught the car. Holy cow, what do we do now?
Like the first explorers. Now what?
Now what? Turn left. And when in doubt, turn right. As I started looking at the process of a transactional relationship that was going to be and providing any oversight, you trapped yourself into a family of mutual funds if you paid a sales charge. And that family of mutual funds usually has a couple of good funds that they build themselves around and then fill it in. And then if you want a specific, like a bond fund, they may not be the best bond fund, but if the money's there and you want to take the money from that family of mutual funds that are stocks and buy a bond fund, you had to pay another sales charge. Now, if you're in the transactional business, you still do it that way. You get charged a commission every time they buy or sell things. I wanted to do it differently, and I recognized that there had to be a different path. I didn't know what it was. So I talked to my broker-dealer at the time, which was IFG Network Securities, and IFG introduced me to a guy named Gary Miller. Gary was this scary, smart Georgia Tech guy.
Scary smart.
Scary smart.
Scary smart.
He is still scary smart. The guy was using computers, and it's 1991.
Whoa.
1992. I mean, you know, he's scary smart. He's writing code for what he wants to do. I could barely, put in the disk for DOS. And that was when you had 2 floppy disks. Oh, maybe we had a 10 gigabyte hard disk.
Ooh, it's a personal computer and not a whole room full of big boxes.
And what Gary was doing, he was working for a larger money manager at the time and experimenting with how to manage portfolios of no-load mutual funds with a fee instead of transaction costs. So he was using no-load mutual funds.
Mm-hmm.
There were fewer of them than there are today, but no-load mutual funds come in. Just let me take a step back. You buy mutual funds, either you pay a front-end sales charge or you buy them as a no-load. No-load means no sales charge. So a no-load mutual fund you don't pay any sales charges for, you're pretty much on your own. You can do it online. You can call somebody like Vanguard directly. You're going to talk to somebody different every time. But if this is something you've taken on as a responsibility and you've educated yourself, there's nothing that we do that an educated person can't get themselves prepared for and do. Our clients don't want to spend all their time doing what we do. They want to go out and travel. They want to build their own business. They want to spend time walking with their grandchildren down the beach. And some people don't have the temperament to do the work we do. They get too nervous. Should I buy? Should I sell? I shouldn't have sold that. I should have bought this. And, you can't second guess yourself. This is truly like being the quarterback or the cornerback playing football. You throw the interception, you walk off the field, you got to come back on in just a couple of minutes and do it all over again and not remember you just threw an interception or you just got burned for a touchdown or you just got burned by a batter for a home run. Out of your mind, throw the next pitch. That's what, you have to do with investing. So some people don't have that temperament. And if you've got the temperament and you want to educate yourself, you can do what we do. Mm-hmm. We use portfolios of no-load mutual funds, and that's what Gary Miller introduced to me back in 1991, 92, that if you put together this portfolio and you study the markets, we'll diversify amongst different asset classes. There was a study done in the early 1980s that won a Nobel Prize for a guy named Harold Markowitz and Bill Sharp.
Frontier.
Mm-hmm. And those guys created the modern portfolio theory.
Mm-hmm.
And the modern portfolio theory said that 90% of your return comes from the asset allocation of the portfolio. So Gary Miller and his cohorts were using computers to manipulate the mutual funds to create efficient modern portfolio theory portfolios.
Good save, Jeff.
Thank you.
I like the way you gathered there. Well done. You must have been a wrestler. You have recovered before.
I have been on my back before. Yes, I have. So and this is all kind of technical. I don't mean to be delving into how the watch is run, but this is what Gary was working with, and it was the very infancy of fee-based investing. So I actually made the complete jumping off the end of the bridge January 1st, 1994. We opened Falcon Financial Management as a fee-based investment advisory firm.
You were early to the game.
That's what I've been told.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're trying to figure out, not where the puck is, but where the puck is going. Where is this industry going? Well, the decision to be a fee-based investment advisor meant that we were taking a step back from the transactional world. We don't sell a stock and get paid, then buy a stock and get paid, and then sell that stock and get paid. That's the way a stockbroker traditionally gets paid. I felt like there was a potential conflict of interest. I'm not saying that there's conflict of interest and that everybody's doing this just for their own benefit, but if you eliminate the potential conflict of interest of transaction-based investing, then we sit on the same side of the table of our clients. If their accounts grow, we make more money. If their accounts go down, we make less money. We're tied directly to the performance of our clients and how well we can help them achieve their goals and objectives. So we became a fee-based financial planning firm in 1994 and moved away from that transactional business that you're going to find at a place like a Morgan Stanley or a place like Merrill Lynch. That's not to say that they don't do fee-based business, but their business isn't centered around fee-based business. Now, there's some clients that don't want to have a fee-based business. They want an individual stockbroker that they can talk to. They want to talk over stock ideas and buy and sell the stocks. So there's a place for that. You just have to understand what you're getting and how it works. It works a little bit differently in our world, the fee-based financial planning world. But we started this by talking about there were CFPs that are in all of these. But in our world, being a CFP and doing fee-based work makes us an advisor so that our relationship is consultative, not sales. I'm not selling you an insurance policy and trying to close you. I'm not selling you, trying to go through my book of business looking for somebody to sell the latest stock that, that in a wirehouse, they have a vested interest in certain stocks being sold. They're what they call market makers. And they tell their distribution force, which is the guys that you're talking to, they're telling their distribution force what they want distributed. And you look through your book of business, Bill Jones could use this. This would be a great idea for him. Let me give him a call. We'll sell some of this. I get paid for selling that, and I'll buy some of this. I'll get paid for that, and the company will be happy. So, there was that big conflict of the sales approach. It's not consultative. My approach and the approach of financial planners who are fee-based, and like yourself, is that our role is to consult with our clients, to come up with plans. Now, it doesn't have to always be a full-blown written financial plan. Some clients, we opened some new business with one of our clients just recently, and as the woman said, I didn't think they needed a full-blown financial plan. I'd given them our financial planning booklet, the integrated wealth management process. They'd gone through it. They had questions. Do we really need this? I said, I don't think so. She said, I don't think so either. I mean, you are where you are. You both retired. The money you got's the money you got. You're not going to make any more. The pension plans you got are the pension plans you got. What do we got? How do we need to make it work? And what's going to be the best ideas to make it work for you? So, and from that perspective, we didn't do a full financial plan, but we spent a lot of time talking so that I knew what their goals are. I have an understanding of what their past experiences have been. I have an idea of what kind of risk they're willing to take to reach the goals that they've got. And then based on those conversations, I can make recommendations about how we structure their portfolios. I prefer that we implement those recommendations for our clients. My experience with giving people the advice and then them taking the advice and trying to implement it on their own isn't very good. They're not, once they've implemented it, they're not watching it all the time like I am. If it's not in my responsibility to be calling them, if this is a one-time meeting and I tell you, okay, this is asset allocation, that's what it was today. It may not be that way in a month.
Oh, wait, you mean things don't change?
Absolutely. They change. As soon as I told you, it's already changed.
Yeah, that's one of the things I know we're talking about, that you don't necessarily have to go the route of the integrated wealth management process. But, we've talked about it before, the value of having a plan, a chart, like a doctor, where if something changes in your life, you've taken the time to have the data to go back and review where the changes are compared to where you were, where you are currently, and what you're trying to do. And that's a much better way to make a decision, I think. Hey, here are our goals. We've had some changes. Let's take a look at them. And once you've gone through that process once, to have that plan to be able to come back to has a real value.
I agree, but I would take it one step farther. I think that if you're younger and you haven't reached the point where you are financially independent, whether you retired or left the workforce, those people are in a position to do things differently to reach a goal. Once you've already pulled the trigger, you're retired, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And so they really, they don't. So we're going to I still want to see their wills. I want to talk to them about their tax returns. I want to know what's going on in their life. I'm still going to be asking for and reviewing this information, but I'm going to be more reviewing in the context of they are where they are. How do we preserve capital and create income for them? And that's and those primarily are the two goals that somebody who's retired has in our office. Preserve my capital, help me create income. If you're 50 years old and you're planning to retire at 65, we got 15 years. I want to be able to retire with this much money in 15 years. How do I get there? What kind of return do I need? What kind of portfolio do I need? How much money do I need to be saving? How much money is on a tax shelter basis? How much money is going to be after tax? Should I use Roth IRAs? All kinds of different questions. And you may be sitting at a point where, and also got a kid that's going to be going to college in 3 years, and she's really smart, and I know that she'll get lots of scholarships and probably won't cost me anything until that really, really smart kid finds out, oh, there's this place called the University of North Carolina, and Dad, it's only $60,000 a year, and I can have the best educational experience going. And they only let a few kids in, and I qualify.
Yemeni crickets.
What do you tell Hannah then, Mr. Coleman?
Say, baby, we got Florida Prepay. There's a quality school right here in Florida just for you.
Well,
but I know that's quite different. The way I thought I would raise my child and when you actually get to that moment are totally different. I can remember before Hannah was born, it was going to be, she's come into our house, our family, and it's going to be this way. Mm-hmm. And, the minute you hold that child and you find out that they have wants and desires and needs, your attitude can rapidly alter.
Well, when she hands you the University of North Carolina acceptance letter.
Kidney. I'm selling the kidney. Cashing in the Florida Prepay. Cashing in the 529 and selling the kidney.
And, you'll be fine. That's those are the kind of twists and turns. But somebody who's your age, you're 46.
Correct.
40, so, you've got all of this, 19 years, 20 years ahead of you to be getting kids through college and building your retirement. Planning for you is really, I think, very, very important. And people like you. It's very, very important because then we've got a roadmap. And in 2-3 years, we're looking at it and saying, Chris, when we started this, you were going to be doing this, and we haven't gotten the will done yet. So we need to get that finished.
Don't worry, Nancy, we got the will.
We said we were going to do A, B, C. We've only done A. We need to be doing B, or we got to change the plan. And most likely that's what we do is now we have to redo the numbers to be able to look at what reality was. Mm-hmm. Because all this is a best guess. And there's wags and swags, wild guesses and scientific wild guesses. And that's right. Nick is in here. He'd be hitting the 7-second delay on me if I told you what the wild guesses and what the A stands for in there. But I think everybody's probably figured it out by now, don't they?
All right. And with that, if you'd like to give us a call at Falcon, the phone number is 352-375-7977. That's 352-375-7977. Or you can check us out on the web at www.ffmonline.com.
And will you be explaining to him what wags and swags is on the what?
Maybe me. What are you doing? No, I don't. I'll be glad to do it. You give me a call. We'll talk you through it. Be glad to do it. It's funny to think, you've been in the industry now, and you had the 90s, and you had the 2000s, and the 90s of the, you tell the story of the doctor who wasn't happy with an 18% return, and we always thought it was going to be that way.
Right.
Then we hit 2000. We get to go through the 2001 to 2002 time period, what we thought was the Mac Daddy of all recessions. And not quite, because there was 2008 lurking in the background. The value to you when you're working with a client and having that perspective of both those time periods, I think has been pretty, sit in on a couple of your meetings just to keep my skills integrated. And that experience pays off when you talk with clients.
Well, for several reasons. One is there's certain biases that I've learned to recognize. If you've only been in business, and you started this business
about 6 years.
Yeah. So 6 years ago, your experience has been, unfortunately, 6 through 08 and now through this. But it's
kind of like waking up in Pearl Harbor on December 7th. Boy, Coleman sure can pick the time to start.
Well, no, you're not getting any sympathy from me. I started in 1979 when interest rates.
18 to 20%.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I can only imagine a mortgage like that.
Well, I was trying to sell whole life insurance at the beginning of my career. You remember? You'll take that money out of your 15% money market. I can put it in this 3% guaranteed product. Excuse me? You want me to take out at 15% and give it to you at 3%. And why am I doing it? So I can eat.
Please. I'm hungry.
And then, we found term insurance, and that became an alternative, and investing the difference led to being, a financial planner. So there was the path all led to where we are today. And it's a path that is I like what we do, I love what we do. I love what I do. I talk about the relationships that I have with clients. And some of my relationships are 10, 12, 15, 18 years. Now, you can't get 10 years until you got 10 years. Somebody who's just met me, I can't have the same kind of relationship as I've got with somebody who's been with me for 10 years. But I genuinely wake up excited that I'm going to get to see, Mr. Smith and, Dr. Jones and his wife. And then in the afternoon, we're going to have another retired couple that I've been taking care of. And we're going to be able to go over and we've had some good times. We've had some tough times. We've gotten through them together. I'm excited to see these people, find out what's going on in their lives. What changes, what things I need to be aware of. Are there tweaks that we need to make in their portfolio to be able to meet their needs today? Are we still on goal to do what we wanted to do? Is the goal changed? A lot of times we may have legacy planning for some children and grandchildren, and now maybe those children and grandchildren are not in the same favor. Do we need to make adjustments in beneficiaries, wills, trusts? Are the things that need...
Part of the most interesting part of what we do. It is so diverse and so broad. For me, being newer to the business, when I talk to someone, say, tell me what you do. Well, I'm a financial advisor at a firm that specializes in retirement planning. And, the first thing they always go right to is, well, what do you think of this stock? And to have to explain, that's really not the primary focus, that we have companies that we use to do those kinds of things for us because our perspective is so much broader in what we do. When you go to run the integrated wealth management process and you realize all the things that we're mapping out your income over all those years, what are going to be your needs for your family? How do we insure you against those needs? It's not just about stocks. Investments are an important component, but I'm sure over the years, a lot of you started out with one of your first plans. They had some major changes in their life, and the fact that you knew them on such a broad basis of their life as a whole was beneficial for you and for them, even more importantly, in their time of need.
Well, my first financial plan was on me. And I can just tell you how, you laugh because you know how many changes have gone on in my life. That first financial plan, if I remember correctly, my income goal was $2,000 in those dollars. That's what I thought minimum amount of money that we needed to be retiring on. And, we had one child. We were just buying our first house. I've ended up, I'm in my second house now and got 3 children that are grown and already out of college. I thought Donna and I would be, together forever. And, Donna's now a professor out at the University of Oregon. And I'm starting a new life here in Gainesville as a, single dad. And
go, man, go.
Hey, you know what? It's an interesting being the single dad. I never thought I would be, and all of a sudden...
That's another show that you can turn in at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, because, we
Just
were...
kidding.
Well, you remember we were talking to Rachel a week or so ago. Rachel's my daughter, who's just graduated from the University of Florida in personal and family financial planning, Dr. Gutter's great program over there.
Dr. G.
And then, I wanted to talk to Rachel about the transition from being the college student to a professional woman. What your hair needs to look like and your nails and your clothes and the way you need to present yourself. And, I'm a guy. I can tell her how to do it from a guy's perspective, but I don't know how that works for girls. And so I went over.
Come in a wrestling outfit.
Oh God, no.
Coleman, give me the day off.
I had 5 different books. I was over at Book Gallery West going through the books, and the nice ladies over there.
Sweating bullets. Which one?
This one would tell you this, and that. No, that one won't work. Okay, I'll try this one. And I think it went pretty well. It was the best advice I could give her. And here, read this.
I'm sure she loved it.
I hope so. But that's that's my job as the single dad now. To be able to, do those kind of things for the, John and Rachel are here in town, and my son Nick is way out there. But all of that's, I wandered off of the trail here because the financial plan did change so significantly that, I don't think retiring now probably we need $2,000 a week, not $2,000 a month. that's a lot of money I admit, but.
Larry just fell out of his chair. $2,000 a week. I can hunt and I can fish and.
Well, I like to give away things to my kids. I like to give money to help people. I like to help wherever I can, and I want to do some traveling. I haven't, a lot of things that I've put off doing, I don't want to put off too much longer. I just found out that my dear father, who's turning 88 this weekend, the cancer that he got rid of, we thought we got rid of, has come back, and there's not much road left.
Yeah.
And
keep him in your prayers, folks.
Oh, please do. But he's a great guy, and his attitude is so be it.
Oh, your dad, he is the man. We can't call it Client Appreciation Day, but we like to say thank you with them. We bribe them with eggs and sausage and pancakes with syrup, and we say thank you. Just that's the whole point. Genuinely to say thank you, and we'll bring in someone to talk about the state of the markets and that sort of thing. And every time your dad's there, you would never want, for one thing, guess his age, and he's always got that smile. I've never not seen that man smiling.
He's got a great spirit. He's got a great spirit. And, but that I don't want to wait and not be able to do anything. Mm-hmm. So there's a balance in everybody's life, and all of our people listening. There's a balance between, legacy, how much I'm leaving my kids. You don't want to live on nothing so that you can leave your kids something. You need to be able to live your lives. So trying to find the balance between legacy planning and finding the balance between their living planning. Those are the kind of things that we're trying to do, whether we do a comprehensive financial plan for you or we do the back of the hand financial planning. Mm-hmm. I need to know what your dreams, your goals, your objectives are. I need to know about your kids, your family. I need to know you and what's going on, because I'm going to be a fiduciary for you. That means my job is do what's best for you, not sell you anything just because I need to make a commission, but to do what's best for our clients. We adopted that 25 years ago as our mantra of life in this business. And here we are 25 years later on the radio, still running a business that's growing and giving, you and Rachel both the opportunity to have a great future, I hope.
And the choir said amen.
Amen.
Amen. So looks like we got a little bit of time here. Do you want to venture into the world of...
You got 15 seconds.
15 seconds? Got 15 seconds?
27 minutes.
This is about 15 seconds. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Folks, if you'd like to call us at Falcon, the phone number is 352-375-7977. Go Gators.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Join us next week at this time for Dollars and Cents with Jeff Davis and Chris Coleman from Falcon Financial Management on News Talk 97.3 The Sky.